Hello everyone, how are you doing? This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. I know you've been listening to me about Boeing, about Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson, and also Lockheed Martin, about their quality issues. It seems like they were all cloistered together, and it's very problematic indeed. I've gone through this mess with you. I'll go again. In 2009, the FAA, who sits on ANSI-ANAB's board, the American National Standards Institute, and the American National Crediting Board are underwriters for the International Accreditation Forum, which is an association of accreditation bodies, national and international. That means, and also their sister organization, ILAC in Australia, International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation, which means this, ladies and gentlemen, business owners, my fellow citizens, means that any systematic or product failure, is their responsibility. Any systematic or product failure is their responsibility. And for those organizations that sit on the IF, ANSI and ANAB are equivalent in accreditation. They are equivalent in accreditation to ANSI ANAB. So in 2019, the FAA gave up regulatory authority at Boeing, which means the FAA increased the authority of Boeing's Commercial Airplanes Division to self-certify its own aircraft. After the Ethiopian Air and Indonesian Air crashed, 2018, 2019, the FAA came out with this little tiny blurb and said in an email, the FAA has never allowed companies to police themselves or self-certify their own aircraft. 2009, we go back 10 years prior. It says the FAA increased the authority of Boeing's Commercial Airplanes Division to self-certify its own aircraft. And then you hear all the time you hear about the DOJ saying that Boeing lied to the FAA about the MCAS system. They don't have to tell about the MCAS system because they were the FAA. Today, this is a very special video because we have this guy over here, Stephen Moltkoff, who was sent on a duty to find a dark horse for Boeing, for its leadership, the new guy on the block. I sent in a 42-page document, either for the CEO or the head of quality. Even to this guy, he received it. I have his return card request. I'll gladly show it to you next video I do. I will show it. And what happened was silence, still crickets. I sent them 11 letters of recommendation from neighbors, fellow business associates, and some customers as well. All silent. He is in Qualcomm. During his time at Qualcomm, there was a $75 million legal battle that was lost by some improprieties with pushing up the stock price. And as the CEO, I think he's kind of in charge of that. So I'm going to tell you this. It seems like birds of a feather flock together because the quality at Qualcomm is so-so under his tutelage and leadership. But they sit upon different boards and all that and start to, rub elbows with each other. And I think the problem is the dark horse that was required and needed and still needed is Daryl Guberman. I figured this, ladies and gentlemen, and business owners, that David Calhoun here, the CEO of Boeing, but he's been on their board since 2009, so approximately several years, as you know. He's an accountant. I went to see him at his Senate subcommittee questioning on June 18th. I was there. I was there in the gallery. And here he is, okay? He's an accountant. My background, ladies and gentlemen, to impress upon you my knowledge, is that I have over 40 plus years in quality, coming under aerospace, medical implants, materials, printing, and plastic distribution. We dealt with every industry. And you know something? We did it with our sleeves rolled up. Not like so many of these people who are now CEOs. And one of them, and this video today, is that Robert Kelly Ortberg, the Charles Manson of Boeing's leadership now. And I know it's harsh. I know you say, what's he saying, Charles Manson? Well, let me just tell you something about Manson. The people around him did he may have orchestrated it, but he did not kill anyone. It was discovered it was his personnel. So when we look at Mr. Ortberg here, he was the CEO during the time of the implementation, development, and design, development, and implementation of the MCAS system. He was the guy. He was the orchestrator per se, but the other groups who developed it and made it and tested it were as if they were the ones who 350 ghosts remain, but the ghosts are upon his shoulders, nobody else's. So this is why I use that title, ladies and gentlemen and business owners. The Charles Manson of Boeing. He had nothing to do with it, but he jumped ship in 2021 from Collins. Why? Because in 2018, 2019, you had Ethiopian Air, Indonesian Air, and I guess he jumped ship because maybe he got nervous. Maybe he had to come up and do a testimony there. Now, I don't know whether he got testimony or not. We will find out. We have some people looking into that, whether he gave a deposition. I don't think he did. But this is the background. The MCAS system. 2012 MCAS system development began. 2013, Robert Kelly Ortberg became CEO of Rockwell Collins. 2017, MCAS system implementation completed. 2018, Rockwell Collins merged with UTC Aerospace Systems to form Collins Aerospace Systems, with Robert Kelly Ortberg as the CEO until 2018. Ortberg was CEO during the majority of the MCAS system's development and implementation phase from 2013 to 2017. A year later, year later, the airplane went down, and then in 2019, the other one went down, and they figured it was the MCAS system. Everything that I've been reading about it points to the MCAS system. So he is the Charles Manson that Boeing hired. And I will make this offer again to Boeing, to Mr. Molenkoff. I am the dark horse that Boeing needs to right the ship. I am, and I can, and I shall, and I will turn the ship around in the realm of quality. If given that opportunity, we can do it. The problem is that you pick this guy. You pick this guy who came from an organization that has 350 ghosts attached to him. Okay? From Ethiopian Air and Indonesian Air, almost 350 ghosts. That to me is very bad. Ladies and gentlemen, business owners, David Foster Wallace said this, but I added to it, and this goes to Boeing. The truth will set you free, but not until Daryl Guberman is finished with you. And it is not the droplet of water that wears away the mighty stone, Boeing, but it is Daryl Guberman's persistence. And the final one is this. It is not, and I repeat, it is not the size of the dog in the fight that counts. It is the size of the fight in the dog. Dwight D. Eisenhower. I leave it here. I am sorry to say about Charles Manson and bring those bones up, but he came into Boeing because of the MCAS system carrying 350 ghosts. Can you imagine that? Let us have a moment of silence for those people, Ethiopian Air and Indonesian Air. May God have mercy on their souls. 203-556-1493 or Daryl TQRS at yahoo.com. I thank you.